Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tumbleweeds and Tombstones, the game where each week my players accuse me of trying to kill them, and I have to remind them they're already dead. Welcome back, everybody. Last week of March, so...
Why does no one ever welcome my front? He said,
What?
welcome back.
And
now the internet is facepalming me right now.
Right, yes. The communal facepalm of the
I feel
world.
like there's a musical that already did something like that.
Don't worry,
Oh.
he lives with his face palm.
For those of you watching at home, we do have last week's game up and running, as well as Atris's character backstory up and going. So that makes two of our members now. You can kind of get to know them a little bit better. We're learning new tricks and trades with each video, so we're growing with you. Don't know which one of us is going to be next, but it'll be one of us.
Is that how that works?
Yes.
All I know is I did my homework, and I don't have to worry about it no more.
Well, technically, you and Miranda do everyone's homework, so...
He does more of the homework than I do.
But I'm just saying, we need to be in a group project together and just not worry about anybody else.
I would love to see Miranda's Wea impression, where she just does the voiceover for him. Hoot, hoot.
I'm excited because I'm trying to
motherfuckers.
figure out how the hell I'm going to BS my way out of the situation we're in.
Yes, so speaking of which, segue. A little bit of a recap. So when last time we were with the Obsidian Spurs, you guys had made your way slowly and surely back to
Jacksonville.
Thank you. It's been a day.
Fair.
And you guys had learned some new techniques. So Walter is a whistling champ by this point. And Liam played with his face. And you guys got to talk a little bit, got to know Noah a little bit more, when Noah got to kind of get to know what Noah's about.
We
a little
got
bit
to
more.
Noah him.
There was a way to get to Noah him.
Whoa, doubles.
Just everything hurts inside right now.
You
There's a
guys
reason
made
we're
it back
engaged.
to Jacksonville, and Noah and all of you noticed that maybe it is time for you guys to start, now that you have a carriage, to start packing a change of clothes on a spur adventure, as you all decide to acquire some clothes. Am I using those right?
It's fabric for sure.
Yes. As Walter did a good parkour up to a tailor that you guys had run into before and used before, as you robbed him blind and decided to acquire new clothes. Walter got a lesson on fashion from Adele that even a blind woman could tell was maybe in need of some updating. You guys made your way into the Golden Goose, where you found the assistant to Mr. Black, Miss Scarlet, in the kitchen with the lead pipe. But you found out that he actually was in the middle of concluding some business, as she offered to take you to him. You guys were walked out of the Golden Goose down one of the streets to the sheriff's office and prison, where you noticed the human-seeming sheriff who, given his canter with Scarlet, you're starting to get more of a picture that not only does Mr. Black kind of control the underbelly of the city, but also probably the law and such things are under his thumb as well. As you are escorted to the back, as you hear gunshots pealing out, and in back where they have the gallows and the posts for the firing squad, you see that Mr. Black is summarily executing a couple of gentlemen who actually seem familiar to y'all as members that were on the train that you most recently robbed and crashed, including the engineer of the train, who all seem to be in the employ or somehow in the pocket of Mr. Black. And he finishes executing the last one, turns to all of you, greets you, you inform him that you've completed your mission. However, it seems that Miss Scarlet had noticed a few things, including Liam's more radio-friendly face, and
My face is semi-radio friendly.
yes, and a couple of other Adele being blinded and things like that, where it, through a good use of heightened senses and then telepathy on the point of Adele, you quickly realize that while they aren't 100% certain that you guys are the ones that wrecked the train and robbed Mr. Black of the plot prize that was being delivered to him in the form of the mystical entity of Lupe, the young Hispanic girl who of unknown origin and power, definitely is at least very suspicious of you all, having been in the general area and having wounds congruent with the hired hands that he had on the train. And we ended the night with him asking you to please regale him with the facts of your mission, and that's where we left off. So you're all standing there in a stone-walled courtyard that's the walls are about 12 feet tall. There is a wooden platform with a gallows on it. The hangman nooses, there's about 3 of them. So it's not a super huge one, but it's not a super small one either. And you do see the 5 posts with now 3 dead bodies tied to the center ones, that they use for firing squads. As Miss Scarlet's standing off to the side, and Mr. Black, still wearing his shades, is standing there looking at all of you expectantly.
Also, Sean, David had notes. She has a name. Walter does call her Miss Scarlet. I don't remember her name, but David found it. I think it was Alexandra.
It was, yes. I found it in my notes after the game because I was just curious when I left, and it was like literally like the second to last page before I stopped taking notes.
That is her formal name. You kind of get the idea that you very much assume that Mr. Black is not the name he was most likely born with, more of a nom de plume. Miss Scarlet, you get the idea that there's a color theme going on here.
Sure.
And I'm kind of blanked out of it. I had let Liam know about
Correct. Right now, as far as at least
and Wea also heard.
Wea heard with his heightened senses. Adele heard with her heightened senses, but so far Adele has been the only one that's been able to psychically communicate that to Liam. So of the group, Liam, Adele, and Wea, all through different means, are aware that the 2 of them are at least suspicious, and also that you guys have picked up that Miss Scarlet might have an ability or 2 similar to Adele's of being able to read people, hence what she was able to transfer some of the information. So it may be very close that she is one of the clans that might also have Auspex.
Yeah.
So keep that in. So players would know, and I won't make this the one common sense, but just character knowledge would be, you guys would be very careful about, at least the 3 of you that know that, would be very careful about whispering and things like that, because if she also has heightened senses, most likely a good chance from this distance she would hear what you're saying. And go.
I'm not there, right? Just
No,
confirming. I'm
Walter
not
decided,
gambling.
knowing that he can't lie to save any of your lives, is gambling and having a very relaxing. This is kind of the flip of when Adele and Liam were having a grand old time in the saloon at the other location while everyone else was getting hunted by the man in black.
Them having a song and dance, entertaining a crowd while we deal with
Blissfully unaware that
shotguns
anything
and
is going awry and just assuming that this is going very smoothly.
Coyote Walter over there.
Yes.
all right.
Well,
Well, I'll leave it to you.
3 dead bodies, that's efficient.
Trust me, there are more to come, but these were the most pressing for the moment.
All things considered, I'm sure they had a very good reason for why they ended up on this post.
Indeed.
So, as per your request, I just brought you a bit of evidence, and in addition to that, an interesting bit of information.
Oh.
And honestly, I cannot thank you enough for that carriage. It helped our travels significantly.
The spells and incantations on it were definitely worth the price then.
And I pull out the briefcase and I say, so we ran into an associate of yours who goes by the name Kasim. We found quite a bit of financial documents that he's been sharing around with some of your competitors.
And where did you run into him?
So not too long ago, we had a run-in at the San Miguel mission, and within that mission, a rather curious fellow was there, a member of the Order of Cronus. And I do have some connections throughout the territories and found out that more of them were there, which was why we were heading there in the first place. Your favor just happened to coincide with something we were doing.
Excellent. Tell me, you got there in wonderful time, especially for the carriage. Granted, I'm sure you had someone driving it during the day. Which way did you go by?
We actually had seen a map that there was a newer train route that was going that direction, so we essentially followed that train route. Although, unfortunately, and this was quite a devastating headache, unbeknownst to us, we were being followed by a rather large contingent of the Bada Hakim. And they actually stalled our travels quite a bit. And in addition to everything else that Kasim has done to upset you, he seems to have made multiple enemies across many platforms, including them.
Yes, well, it was always a gamble to hire a trader and expect them to be faithful, but most are usually smarter than to disappoint me.
And then I'm going to pull out from my jacket the vial of Kasim's blood. Now, this is what I think you'll find most interesting. If you smell this, there is indeed vitae in here, but in addition to that, there is human blood. But all of it belongs to Kasim.
And how is that possible? And he does take the vial. At least he puts his hand out for it.
They hand it to him. Well, as I said, he seems to have made enemies across many different platforms. And the contacts that we were looking for in the Order of Kronos seemed to have been one of them. Somehow this wizard was able to take 200 years from Kasim and revert him back to mortal form.
He thinks for a moment. I had heard rumors that these mages were capable of such things, but even the rumors were only that those very high up in the order were able to do such things. It is both intriguing and a little concerning that if what you say is true, these rumors are not just rumors, but a very true threat that our kind will have to prepare against.
Rumors are one thing. We witnessed it firsthand.
It seems you've been through quite a bit in this little excursion. Do tell me. It seems you are not quite what you were before you left. What did happen? Did a mage do that to you?
A mage, no. Are you familiar with members of Clan Shimisi? I'm sure you've at least heard of them.
Yes, indeed.
Well, the return trip was actually led by a rather talented and very strong revenant. Seems that they have a ranch out there where they breed these horses. And as you know, revenants are privy to cruelty and the enjoyment of suffering of others. Suffering such as causing my friend to lose her eyesight. They would even enjoy such suffering as, well, then I look over at Atris. My dear, please just drop the illusion. And I just drop the Mask of a Thousand Faces to look like my now new ugly self.
And Atris will follow suit and go back to her original non-pristine outfit.
Okay. Liam, I'm gonna have to have you make a big old bullshit roll. So
Well, I will say
Some
this.
of what he's saying is not lying, though.
I
Correct,
have
but
not
the-
lied.
but the
I have
second
just-
half of that was all complete bullshit.
Well, no.
No,
I
We
said that
did-
Shimisi are prone to enjoy the suffering of others.
and we
I-
did run into one.
A few.
He did not do this.
And nor
These
did I.
are true statements that he is saying.
And he's not.
Separately.
This isn't a suspicious situation or coincidence of happenstances at all.
Yeah. What I need is I need everyone else there to go ahead and give me a perception plus awareness roll. And
I don't have awareness with a question mark on my sheet, Sean.
Well, then you're fine. But I need Liam.
I'm being careful with my bullshit here.
I need Liam to make a charisma plus subterfuge roll. Difficulty is 8 because you're asking him to
I feel
believe
like-
a huge coincidence.
I feel like Mr. Black is making that jump himself, and that's not our fault.
It's not. He asked what happened to us, and I said
If
that
a
it was.
king makes a jump that you guys might be guilty, it's still going to not end well for you guys.
Okay.
The
an
burden of
experienced
evidence
businessman.
lies with you guys, not with
I'm
him.
just
to
saying.
believe you.
He has not lied.
And
And he's going to do a perception plus empathy roll.
I'm peeing my pants just a little bit, so I'm going to spend 2 willpower before.
Spending the blood.
Are we standard?
Standard difficulty for the perception roll.
That's 3 for my perception plus awareness.
3, 2.
Is this them reading Mr. Black?
No, this will be. Way are you rolling the perception empathy? Perception awareness.
I can.
I mean, unless you decide that way is just not interested in what's going on around him.
7.
7. Okay.
Oh, I can't tell if that's a good reaction or a bad reaction.
It's going to depend on Sean.
Okay.
So
He
I
got
got
3 successes on his roll.
Nice.
okay. I barely eked out 5, and that's because of the 2 willpower.
Okay. Whale, what was your roll?
2.
Okay. I'll say anyone who got above 2, you notice this a little bit quicker on the perception. I'll say Adele, you being very perceptive on all things. You notice it first, and I'll say everyone else, you kind of pick up on it. Those of you who can see, you've been around vampires, including Adele, who have the gift of aura perception, and you know that look of when they're not just looking at you but almost through you and reading you, they're studying you. Wea, not only are you familiar with this, but I'd say Wea and Atris, you in your combat experience also know the physicality of someone that is very much sizing you up, kind of thing. That's not. And I'll say with your thing, you pick up. Miss Scarlet is very good. She is an expert at it, of looking casual while actively being on high alert, like all senses open on a swivel. You very much get the idea that it would be hard to ambush this person, that they are, even when they're looking like they're disinterested, they're paying very close attention to everything that's going on.
Right.
Atris, you particularly have been trained in such things to seem like the innocent damsel who couldn't do a thing, but really you could murder everyone in the room, kind of thing. And sometimes have had to.
I'll just block the door.
This entire time, her eyes dart quickly to each of you, but she is zeroed in on Liam. And she, after he finishes speaking, Mr. Black is sitting there, hand on his chin, finger over his lips, and she leans into him again, and with a smile on her face. There is a sin on him that was not on him before. He has tasted the vitae more so than he should have. And I'll just say, because of your high perception, Adele and Wea, you hear this, and you know that actually I will say both Wea and Adele give me a int plus occult standard difficulty.
Okay.
Liam, you notice that there's no instant flash in his posture or anything else that would put you on alert that he is now going on the offensive or anything like that. He seems to at least be pondering over the possibility of what you're saying and that it could be potential. 3 successes. Okay, so you 1 success. So where you're not aware of this particularly, but I'll say that Adele, you are very much aware, because you've seen this in Liam, that when a vampire commits the act of diablerie and absorbs the soul of another, their aura is stained with black lines that kind of run through the aura itself. And you get the idea that that might be what she's referring to and what she's reading in Liam.
Cool. So I'm going to speak telepathically to Liam again.
Okay.
And give him a heads up about this.
Okay.
What's your current willpower?
Oh, now it's 7.
Cool. Thanks. Appreciate it. I need 1 more dice.
Come on, I was bullshitting so well.
Good.
You get the idea that Mr. Black didn't quite get where he got just by taking everybody at face value. And your face has a lot less value these days.
Oh.
I will reach through this monitor.
I got 4 successes.
Okay.
Ugly.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna tell him to be careful and aware that that she can tell that he's how am I wording this? Because I also want to word it in a way that just in case somebody else is listening, because I never know. Just be aware that they are now aware of what sort of forbidden drinks you've had to drink.
Is it LA water?
I like that drink.
You really?
The alcoholic drink, yeah.
That Robitussin drink.
Sometimes you're
So
in the mood for Jungle Juice.
I just want to get smashed. So that's what I'm going to say, that they seem to now be aware of what sort of forbidden
Beverage.
you've had.
Okay. Liam, you hear this in your brain and you very much know it to be the voice of Adele.
You know, it's another weird thing that I also happened to have done while we were over there is I happened to let myself get bloodbound to a Shimase.
But do keep in mind, you would know, I'll just say you'll know this as a vampire. Blood binding is a very different thing from
I know.
One being much more common than the other. And he looks now. It looked like his posture was pretty calm and relaxed and neutral. He hears that, and you see him kind of square his shoulders up a bit and go, So, a Shimasi gave you those unfortunate blemishes.
Shimasi unfortunately have a very high price for dealing with them, especially when you may or may not have accidentally caused some business through your ghoul's fault. They absolutely requested very high value.
And was this price to consume one of them?
I did have a light blood blinding to one. But beyond that,
Mr. Duquesne, we are both men of business. Now, I can appreciate the fact that especially one of your clan committing such a taboo as you apparently have done in your most recent adventure would not be something you wish to be made public. However, I'm less concerned about why you did it and more concerned about who it was done to. Let us be frank.
No, I'm Liam.
He seems not amused at the joke. All of you have been under the umbrella of my good graces. These gentlemen behind me have recently fallen out of favor with me for a business deal that has gone very sour for me and will take a lot of legwork to correct. Something that I have had in the plans for longer than most of you have been given the gift of the dark kiss. So, you can understand that I am not of a jesting mood. Two very well-paid associates of mine seem to no longer be around, and I am trying to ascertain if they are missing or no longer of this plane. I must admit, right now I do not have a long list of suspects, and your injuries make me ask again, how did you get those marks upon your face?
Now, Mr. Black, with all due respect, yes, we are men of business. And we had very specific business. One that which is reaching its conclusion, which is why we're here. If for whatever reason I had believed that I'd crossed you, I'd be far less inclined to come by and put myself in harm's way.
That would be rather stupid.
It's the MO. Yes.
Cue an entire room of people doing the Dr. Evil laugh. Just together.
Now, as always, we've come to you in a sign of camaraderie. We've had no reason to cross you. And in fact, you've been a very gracious host anytime we've come into town. And we wanted to make sure that we honored our contract with you, mostly because we really like the carriage. And you can even keep that small bauble I gave you, as I have little need for it. But one thing that I'm well aware of, and as you are too, certain aspects of business are a bit more private. I wouldn't go about asking you your dealings, especially when we want to make sure that we avoid any conflicts.
So you were nowhere near the train heading to Indian territory. You did
No.
not see what befell of those abound.
No, I never said that. I said we followed the actual trail of the train itself. That's how we found our way. Though the train arrived quite at a different time than we did, especially when we had that altercation with the Bada Hakim.
Roll again for deception. It's going to be charisma and subterfuge. Difficulty 8, because he is really having trouble buying this.
But I outdid him last time.
Do it again.
And then you got red with evidence.
Storyteller, how much would
Yes.
you say I was able to buy in for at one of his high fancy roller tables?
I would say honestly, because tonight's not like a big event kind of night, $20 would probably buy you in to one of the high end tables.
Well,
Yeah,
we're all dead,
Walter-
Sean.
Walter bought in with the highest buy-in that the table was
dead.
comfortable with
I'm an owl.
without being crazy, incidentally. I'm just
Okay.
gonna subtract that $20 right now.
Well,
Okay.
here's why I'm saying we're dead. I rolled a 9, a 10, and an 8, and 3 ones.
You just
So
ignore
I need
the
to
second
re-roll
half.
the 10.
Hmm.
Would anyone seen that Liam might be in, not knowing obviously the role, because that would be meta, but at least seeing that there is strong suspicion, like to assist Liam in telling his fib?
And my re-roll of the 10 was a 4, so I'm at 0.
I indeed would.
Okay. What would you like to say to help lead believability and credit to him?
Now, excuse me, sir, Mr. Black. I do believe your associate did promise me a membership to your very fine casino, and I just happened to be here for that business, not for any of this reporting here. Now, I seem to see that you have a problem with my business partner here. Do you really believe that one of my kind would be doing dealings with someone who did one of my kind wrong?
What is your name, my new friend?
Nice to meet you. You may call me Noah.
Noah. I have been around for a very long time. And while I do know that the clever members of Clan Nosferatu are very close, I also know that it is the history of our kind to take advantage when the right opportunity presents itself. Only a fool trusts everyone all the time. Now, are you claiming that you are willing to vouch that what I am being told tonight is nothing but the truth?
What I will vouch for you, sir, is my own experiences from my own eyes. I've been tailing this group for nigh 3 months, and it is getting tiring watching them kill civilian after civilian with no heed for safety. And I would say that I did not witness a single diablerie. Or I would have to report that back to my own clan.
Then I am afraid to inform you that you were asleep at your post, because my associate here has seen the truth. Auras do not lie. But I will say, go ahead and make a roll, Noah, for charisma and subterfuge. The difficulty is going to be 9, only because since Miss Scarlet saw proof of diablerie, you saying that, well, I didn't see any diablerie, didn't quite. It'll be harder to change his mind, but you can definitely make it.
To be fair, I didn't see any either.
What is my success?
9. So 9s and
Okay.
10s are what count.
Well, I got 1 success.
You got 1 success. That makes it, that is 1 success in common. Your 1 plus Liam's 0 equals 1.
1.
Anyone else want to weigh in?
Hoot.
Any smooth
All right, well, when
talkers?
you put it that way, I guess it's fine. Move along.
Smooth hooters.
Oh.
Never mind that. Just
Whoa,
Wow.
whoa.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Welcome to Walter's Smooth Hooters.
Smooth Hooters.
open since 1865.
Please tip your waitress.
No? Okay. Everyone else is like, hell, I'm not dying on this hill. Bye, Liam.
I mean, they all came with me, so they get to die here too.
Yeah. Well, not except one of us, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, Walter's just like, do, new group.
Belle just turns around and leaves. Bye, guys.
Yeah, good luck finding the door.
Oh, wow.
Hey, so yeah, I kind of changed my mind about.
How long has it been, by the way? I'm assuming that Walter's maybe only played like a few hands
It has
here.
not been
It
long.
hasn't
At this
been
point, it's been a matter
2
of
minutes.
hasn't
like
been long enough for
15
Walter to
like
think that
10
anything would be amiss, I would imagine.
like 10-15 minutes, if that.
You know, on his own, without anyone giving him any indications. Oh, gosh, sorry. I thought I heard the voice of Metagametron speaking to me. Oh,
Someone punch Wea.
I will say, but go ahead and give me a manipulation plus dexterity for your gambling, Walter, on how well you're doing all the way over there.
I will gladly manipulate this table as I go. Oh, I have an extra die. Okay. Oh, that's a lot of 10s. Walter might be doing okay. That's 6 10s. 2 more. Another. DJ Khaled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Is 15 successes good?
It is good. It is phenomenal.
Does that
As a
help
matter of
Liam?
fact, you are cleaning up in even just the 10 minutes you've been there. You're up by about $100.
Good Lord.
So yeah, you're doing great. Things are going good.
Wow, what a great night this is.
Yes, what a night indeed. If anyone wanted to reach Walter, they could probably do so through means of blood. But
Summoning, telepathy.
yeah. Okay. So Mr. Black sits there and he looks at Noah and Liam. Liam, how are you feeling right now? This is me asking you as a player? How is Liam feeling right now?
Just in general, it's rude to ask if I ate someone.
Right? Like, we don't go up to every single goddamn vampire going, so, what you got?
And
What you got going on?
He's jumping to conclusions. He's using coincidence as causality. And again, I have stretched the truth, but I have stretched the truth.
So you're responding to his question about your emotions with a bunch of rationalizations instead of an answer. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, you know how I feel? I feel like no one's helping me except for Noah. So
I have helped. I have given heads up about the shit they know.
I know, just no one's saying anything.
I know, and I'm having an internal figure out now, so I'm just trying to figure out what I would say, and I'm not.
Well, you know, Sean likes everything diff 8 or 9, so we can't win anyways.
Let me say this. For those who are just having trouble thinking of what to say. Where you're an owl right now, right?
Yep.
Quantum.
Excellent.
Useless owl. Yep. Check.
Would you like to not be an owl? Because we're not in combat, so it would take a couple seconds to not be an owl.
Answer honestly now.
Yeah. With everything going on, I'm not so sure anymore. Now, if player goes down, he goes down with the ship. If there is room, I will flutter out and find a space.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big courtyard, kind of, I mean, not huge, but I mean,
Okay.
back of a prison.
I will transform my owl self into an Indian.
Okay. Well, yeah, thank you for joining us.
Hello. Always a pleasure, Mr. Black.
I'm sure you've been listening to the entire conversation.
I have.
Have you anything to add or speak to your group's dealings these last few nights?
I will say the Bara Hakim did take a lot of our travel time away from us. That was a bump in the road that none of us saw coming, and definitely something we happy to make ourselves out of alive. I was the first time I've ever met an overwhelming force that quickly.
Yes, it is very weird that they would be this far out, as a matter of fact, other than a few here or there, including a member that used to be part of your group, I believe. I have not really seen their kind in the States that often. So it is interesting that they have decided to come now. What of this Shimisi? They also are very rare in these parts these days. Tell me of the Shimisi that you ran into that accosted your fellow members. I'm sure you, who holds them into such high esteem, that was a very upsetting time for you. What were they like?
Personally, before meeting them, I've only heard stories, but the stories of them turning flesh into furniture was not wrong. And it was frightening. Never seen anything like that, not even on the battlefield.
Yes, those of us who have had the interesting pleasure of their acquaintance in the old country, there was quite a unfortunate battle between them that lasted many years. Interesting that they seem to be upping their antics again, this in tune with the Semites moving en masse. I might have to send some people to look further into this, but you would, of course, being an honorable person as to yourself, you hold to that everything I have heard tonight is the truth, do you not?
For one who speaks the truth, everything said today or in this meeting has been nothing but.
Go ahead and make your
I only lied at the end. Everything else was true.
yeah, but then he asked a direct question. So go ahead
Yeah, I
and
couldn't
roll
escape
charisma plus subterfuge.
Okay.
They're all gonna die.
Yeah, this is not good. Because I'm spending 2 willpower.
Okay.
And I maybe, don't have a stat called subterfuge.
Okay.
That's why I was trying to not say anything, but I'd rather say something, I suppose.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll.
No, gemstone dice. Don't fail me now. 3 successes.
Okay. With the help of Noah and Wea,
The W's.
you don't really see him relax. He's definitely not like being like, oh, palsy. But you're all still alive. He hasn't killed all of you.
Mm.
It is unfortunate that these coincidences happened, and I do not want it to scar our budding business transactions. I see potential, and I am one that does not like to give up on potential. These documents were indeed stolen, and if they were being used to pay Kasim, I know exactly what he was planning on doing with them. The blood does not tell lies. I have someone who can analyze it, and I'm sure it will come up, as you say, that it is all him, and it should also give me his last few moments. So I will see that you all are the ones that brought him to justice. As such, as per our arrangement, the carriage is yours, to do with as you please, with my blessings. Mr. Noah, you wished to have membership into my establishment. I will simply need a drop of your vitae. I promise you, I personally will not consume it. It is simply just to keep a record of those of our kind that are allowed in my place for the full rights and privileges.
Certainly. Would you need it immediately, or would you like it when we come back to your establishment?
I need it as soon as you wish to be considered a member.
Here you go, sir.
Miss Scarlet walks up and she actually pulls out a white silk handkerchief and presses it to your wound, and the blood kind of gets absorbed into it, and she folds it over and she goes, "Thank you kindly." And goes, "Now, as I said before, Mr. Duquesne, I know for a fact that your clan, and in fact the entirety of the Camarilla, would not look too fondly on your newfound abilities. If I were you, I would play that card very close to your chest. And be aware that there are many, like our dear Miss Scarlet here, that if they found out that you had such abilities and had done such transgressions, I would hate to see what would happen if they called a blood hunt on you. But us being such good friends and in favor, I actually might have a gift for you. A pendant that, as long as you wear it, will hide this little blemish in your soul, or at least aid in its covering. It is not a surefire thing. Those that are very adept at the ability of reading one's aura might still be able to pierce the veil of its illusion, but it will help. Would you like it?
I would actually. And my apologies for my standoffishness. I still was not certain how you would react to this act. but it is imperative that I keep the lines of communication between our two businesses open.
Yes, well, now that I know this little secret, I'm sure we will be even better friends. It's definitely not something we would want to get out into the world with others. I'll make sure that the amulet is left in your rooms. Are you staying at the Golden Goose?
At least for the evening. We just need to rest.
Of course, of course. Well,
oh, there is one more thing.
yes.
You may want to send scouts out to that Indian Territory town. It seems that the orders of Kronos are rather giving you a run for your money as far as gambling is concerned. But rather than money, they are gambling time. Such, well, old decrepit bastards have found new youth.
I'd be willing to bet that the other side of the coin is that there are a new population of old men that found themselves quite spry.
Now, I have a feeling that the dust in many a home was not originally dust.
Indeed. It is something that I will look into and see how to best handle the situation. If there's nothing else, I think Miss Scarlet will escort you back to the Golden Goose. As members, you are welcome to enjoy all the refreshments and entertainment. Mr. Noah, now that you are a full member, and he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small gold pin in the shape of a goose. Keep this on you at all times, and anyone in my employ will immediately know that you are one of our premium members and treat you as such. You will find it will open many doors for you, as I'm sure your newfound comrades can attest to. Was there anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
That pendant?
I bid you all a fine evening. And Miss Scarlet goes, oh, well, if you would all like to follow me, I'll go ahead and take you back to your room. As you start to turn in, oh, and my dear Spurs, rest assured, so that way no blame falls upon you, know that I plan to expend every resource I have to find out what happened on that train that evening. And rest assured that those who are responsible, they will wish for something as joyous as death. Because I will not grant them death. I will grant them what most men wish for, eternity. But eternity under my amusement. So rest assured, your good names will be cleared. I will see to it.
That's all
I'm so glad I can sleep at night now.
You sleep at night?
I'm very glad that you threw your name in them.
No, the best part of this is that you looked up, and for me, the way I had it, he's right above you. So you were looking at him after he said that. Anyway, continue.
Good evening, everyone. Yep, and y'all leave. Miss Scarlet escorts you back to the Golden Goose. You guys are welcomed in. Now, will you all be needing refreshment tonight?
Yes.
Thank you, Goose One.
Save a life. Ride a horse.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Duquesne, I do believe you're a tad more lively than the last time you were here with us.
Just a bit.
Do you require refreshment?
For the moment, no, I'm sated. However, just because our travels have been long and clearly I am very, very much underdressed. Uh, are there any accommodations that could be made sent to my room just so I can be presentable?
Indeed. Do you need them for this evening, or would tomorrow evening be sufficient?
Tomorrow will be sufficient. Tonight, I merely need to rest.
Give us just a moment, would you please? And she speaks to one of the hostesses and comes. There's a moment, and about a couple minutes later, a young gentleman with blonde hair, very nicely trimmed mustache and goatee, comes in and kind of takes you guys off to the side with a clothing measuring tape. And this here is Philippe. Philippe would be happy to take all of your measurements. And that way, if you need anything now or in the future, we could have it on record and acquire it more easily for you.
And two things, Philippe. One, I dress to the left. And two, please go help Adele. No one else can at the moment. No, I'm literally saying that they can't help you because they don't know what to get you.
I understand a good emergency, sir. I will snap to it. Adele, he comes up to you and he kind of does one of these. My dear, do I have your permission to take your measurements?
For clothing,
Yes.
you may.
And you can tell that he's very efficient. He's very professional about it. You, Adele, are no stranger to getting custom fit for clothing and things of that nature. You've never buy off the rack. And so,
Lord, no. I don't even like stealing off the rack, but if I have to, I will.
indeed. So you get that this guy he's very professional. There's not the normal, you're used to in the fittings there being a lot more conversation and the guy trying to butter you up and everything. You get the idea that this is very business. He's quick, he's efficient, he gets in, he gets the measurements he needs. You hear him and the rest of you see him take out a little notebook and with a pencil make little notations down. Do the rest of you, he goes up to each of you and asks you for permission to take your measurements. Does anyone say no to it?
More clothes, please.
Oh, and
watch the
Philippe,
cleavage.
Philippe, for Adele, if we could just have a small hat with a veil.
Of course. By the way, Walter, you notice your group come back in. This has been about 20 minutes now. At this point, you're about $150 up.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't even know the deck had 5 aces in it.
Jesus Christ.
You guys look over and you see Walter just having the time of his life, where you all just had your unlives flash before your face. He's sitting there, women are hanging off of him, and you see some of the saloon girls like laughing and joking around. You see, some guys patting him on the back, others at the table looking very not pleased as they're all the rich muckety mucks and everything else.
I've
People are
arranged my
buying
poker
him
chips
drinks.
into a castle in front of me.
Yeah, you remake the Alamo in poker chips kind of thing. I'm gonna remember this.
I was gonna say, I remember. Do you remember?
Sorry to cut and run, but I think my friends came back. It's been fun, y'all.
This is a combination of grumbling from the people who lost, cheers from the people who were enjoying watching you beat the pants off of them. You cash out, and
Walter flips a $5 chip to the dealer.
he catches it, gives you a nod. And yeah, you are up, including the 20 that you earned back. In addition, you are up $145.
Ooh wee.
And you rejoin as you see this kind of schnazzily dressed, but still with the golden vest on, so you know that he's a member of the Golden Goose employee system. He is measuring everybody and taking their measurements. And excuse me, sir, would you also like to be fitted for clothing?
He's fit.
Very good, sir. You exist. So when he gets done, he makes his nods, and he'll ask you all about like what you're looking. As long as none of you are asking for anything completely ridiculous, like something that a fabric that's only from this one region of the country that's nowhere near.
Oh, fine. I'll be reasonable.
He does say that very special requests are not outside the realm of our employer's ability. It just may take a little bit more time. If you're in the need of something for by tomorrow evening, we have to deal with what we have. However, other requests can be made to be picked up at later dates.
I suppose I will deal with what you have. You seem professional enough that I am sure I will not be disappointed.
He nods, he takes down what you guys need, and Miss Scarlet goes, now, we can add the bill to your tab. You have what you need. If you ever need future garments, we now have your measurements. You only need to tell us what you want, and we'll make sure that they are fitted appropriately. We are also welcome to do any mending that you need as members of this organization.
At some point, I'm just going to get something that's already blood colored. It'll just be easier.
Now,
I just like
well,
getting,
what I will
just like
say
getting red.
is, so, and she goes, is there anything else you require of me this evening?
I don't need anything else. I think I'm good for the night.
She gives Liam a one more once over, and a small kind of smile just kind of curls on the side of her mouth, and she goes, I look forward to our future dealings together. And she walks off.
Oh, Scarlet. She's not wrong.
And you guys are alone together. I mean, you're still in the main part of it, but there's no one else immediately paying attention to you or surrounding you.
Glad we're allowed to walk out.
Where's Mr.
That was
Black?
going to be trouble.
Y'all find him?
Yeah.
Well,
doing,
you know.
Yeah, doing some business with some other associates of that we haven't not directly encountered, but we were too near.
All I'll say is that we spoke to him. We concluded our business. And anything else regarding that business needs to not be said here.
Agreed.
We have a carriage?
We have a carriage.
Hey.
And I have this new little necklace.
Well, you will.
It's coming from Etsy. I love it.
Just keep refreshing the page. I'm sure it'll get here faster.
That's how that works, okay?
That's all I need. I need an in-game shop called Etsy.
Right now, your in-game shop is called Josephine, but we'll work on that. So, anyway, the evening is yours. It's still relatively early in the evening. We're looking at around 10:30, 11-ish. Is there anything y'all wish to do tonight, or do y'all want to just fast forward to you bedding down and wake up?
I actually got a question. How
Yes.
long was the carriage ride?
It should have been long enough for you to be more than healed. I think it was 3 days.
Yeah.
You only needed 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we got you some additional animals for the second night, so you could fill up on blood.
I think we said it was a 3-night ride back too. So
Okay.
because that's when we said you guys have 4 more nights to get to San Angelo to meet your Tremere, I'm sorry, Shemisi friend there.
Alrighty, I'm good.
All right. Is that good for everyone else? Nothing else. I don't want to rush anyone, but is there anything else?
They just wouldn't be doing anything consequential. She'd probably just be playing some games, but the night would be still young and literally nothing else is going on just to pass the time.
Okay. Do you want to give me a gambling roll just to see how you do?
Sure. D20?
Yeah. It's going to be your manipulation. Now you can either do charisma to distract people, or you can do manipulation to try and just kind of psych people out and bluffs and stuff like that. Either way, it's going to be that plus your dexterity.
Ooh. I'll do I'll do dex plus manipulation.
Okay.
That's going to give me a
so less
higher,
of using your womanly wiles and more just keeping a good you're more using your warrior aspects of being able to keep a very blank face and make it hard for other people to read or give false leads onto whether or not you're doing good or bad.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes on that one.
Not quite as good as Walter, but you still, in the time that you're there, you lose some, you win some. Overall, you come up ahead. How much did you want to start gambling with? How much money?
Just do a minus $10.
Okay, still a lot of money in this day and age. Like that's not nothing.
Yeah, I know.
But we'll say that you weren't at one of the high-end tables, more of just one of the regular gambling tables. I'll say you come away with $30. Like you did well. Okay. You tripled your money. And again, in this time period, that's not nothing. So
Liam's just gonna go see if Bartleby's done at the whorehouse. Just go for a nighttime walk before he rests for the night.
Okay.
Walter was going to ask Liam. Walter was going to ask you while we were standing in a circle if you still had your pocket watch.
Like I better.
I don't know. I thought you lost it. I didn't know if it.
Oh no, I got that back when we got ambushed by the Bar Hakim.
Damn, I was going to ask if you wanted to go shopping here, but guess you already did that. Never mind.
I mean, we can do shopping. I don't really
that kind of shopping. I mean, a contest. Walter smacks your chest. But I guess you already got one, and maybe we shouldn't make trouble here.
I would highly recommend that we keep a low profile this visit.
Oh, Walter visibly crouches 2 inches more and turns his hat
down. Okay. I'll say you all. You do meet up with Bartleby. He is a couple hours later. He is done and looking quite pleased with himself. Pretty flushed in the face. Looks like he's had a couple of drinks too. You go ahead and go for your walk. It is a crisp, cold December evening. Nothing of big note. Things are pretty quiet outside the main strip of Jacksonville at this time of night. Every so often you'll see a random person walking down the road, probably someone getting home from one of the establishments or something.
If we walk by them, I'll just nudge Bartleby so that he knocks into them and does his pickpocketing.
Okay. For Bartleby, go ahead and give me a Dex plus larceny. I'll say difficulty standard because this is something he's very adept with.
Well, I better get some good stuff on this. I've got four successes and 2 of them are 10 so far.
Ooh.
That's 1. Okay, so 5.
Okay. 5 successes. You he ends up stealing, again, these are regular townspeople, so they're not going to be like loaded with hundreds of dollars or anything like that. But I'll say by the time you get done, he gets about $15, which is still, again, for the time period, not anything to sneeze at.
He made back his whorehouse money.
Yeah.
And then some.
I will also say that with that many successes, you do get a little brass key on a ring. that also has a set of initials on it. The initials are T and M. So not sure, you'd have to kind of investigate that more to figure out what that goes to, but it's at
Is
least
there a well?
TM well.
No, is there a well?
In town, yes.
I'm gonna chuck it down the well.
Okay.
Wow. There you go. Get rid of it. Fuck it.
Boop. It goes down the well. And in doing so, you have released the age-old demon that was waiting for the key to return to its well as
Fucking
Samara
better.
crawls
Fucking
out.
knew it.
Watch, that was going to be some really important key to a plot point. Nah, fuck
Why
it.
no?
No, don't open the box. How many times have we opened the box? Do not open it.
Unless you're paying for it in my brothel, no more.
I wasn't listening at first. All I heard was the tail end. You said open the box. Oh,
The genie comes out a second time. All right, so you all make it back to your rooms. Again, they are very nice, unlike some of the other places you've stayed. While it is, you guys are led up the staircase, and when no one, and there is Noah, you've actually, this is new for you. So there are security guards that are at each of the staircases that lead up to the second level of the Golden Goose. When you're now, people are allowed to go. They don't stop people from going in and out. More of just, you get the idea, it's another line of security. If a fight broke out or something like that, besides the bouncers at the door, you get the idea that these guys are just extra muscle inside to deal with any negative situation that might arise, and also just keep an eye on the place. Keep an eye out for cheating. And yes, as Adele was saying, $15 would be $240 today. So like if you went to Vegas and you played the nickel slots and you came away with like $250, that would still not be a bad thing.
I played $20 on penny slots and won 400. So yes.
Yeah. So
good night.
You go up to the and then in the corner, so on the second level there are these little alcoves that are kind of carved out, and they all have these really nice curtains and circular tables and booths where you get the idea it's for if you want to have a little bit more privacy and, you know, sit down and everything else. In one of them there's a painting, and once the curtains are drawn, there's actually an attendant there who waits, closes the curtain, and then pushes a button on the frame of the painting as it slides out of the way, and you see that there is basically like a hallway that's hidden behind the wall. You go inside, and there are stairs that lead down underneath the building. So you get the idea that they've carved out. And being a Nos, you're a big fan of tunnels and underground dwellings.
Yes, is it well made?
It is, as a matter. Go ahead and give me a perception plus craft roll.
I mean, he's got his shovel. He will fix it.
You have here.
He's gonna go Dumpy the Gravekeeper on that fucking bitch.
You start to see him being like the guy from Minecraft, where he just starts digging underneath.
So that was 2 successes.
It seems well built. Like, it seems very structurally sound. It seems like the place, from what you see from the underground pillars that they've put underneath this, made out of stone, that's very well built. It seems like it's, and then once you get down to the bottom, it is very lush. In the same way that the top of the building was very lush, you get the idea that this was designed for your kind, so that way there's absolutely zero chance of any sunlight ever reaching down here. But it's still, it is wood floors, it is not dirt walls, that is either a combination of wood or plaster and things like that on the sides. There are actually chandeliers hung up with candles in them.
Fire bad.
Yes, but it seems well contained. So you guys still are in the 1800s, so gas lamps are still kind of, candles and gas lamps are kind of essential for seeing in the dark. And carpet on the wood floors. There's little hallway tables with like little flower vases on them. things like that. So you can tell that it still looks like a 5-star hotel just underground.
You see this
There is
dirt?
also
This is
a-
fancy dirt.
Yes.
Clean dirt. It's not dirty dirt.
High
Yes.
quality.
It's like hobbit dirt. You guys each have, you were given a key. You each have, I would say, between all of you there, unless you asked otherwise, there would probably be 3 rooms available, unless any of you asked for your own private room.
Interesting, no privacy.
Once inside, there are a dresser that has a very nice wash basin on it. There is a nice sized round table with a couple of chairs in it for lounging in, and there are 2 beds in each room. Again, very nice frame to them, very nice sheets, high quality. It is a very nice quality place for most likely specifically for vampiric guests.
So 3 rooms for boys, girls, and owls.
Show me to the little owl's room.
I'm imagining he's gonna sleep in the dumbwaiter as an owl, and everyone's gonna freak out. We're
Joke's on you,
owl
my room is
exterminators.
free. So you all bed down for the evening. You all regain a willpower point for having a night's rest. However, Wea, I need you to make your roll for your nightmares.
Renfield, I had a daymare.
And Atris,
Mhm.
I need you to make a willpower roll for me, standard difficulty.
Yeah,
Oh
I got
boy.
2 successes.
You sleep soundly, Wea. No nightmares invade your dreams, so you do get your willpower back.
Yay.
5. Ooh, 6. 6 successes.
Cool. You feel something tickling at the back of your brain, but you're able to kind of push it out, and unless you choose to, you do not let it in.
No, she's not letting anything in.
Okay, then you continue to then spend the rest of your evening soundly and undisturbed, and you get your willpower for the evening.
Cool.
Oh my.
You all wake up, so spend the blood to wake up. If any of you are doing Blush of Health, feel free to spend the secondary point of blood if you choose.
I'm ordering room service.
Yes, you do notice that in all of your rooms, there is a dumbwaiter. In the dumbwaiter, there are different silk ropes that come down, and on each one has a tag, one saying supper, the other saying attendant, and the other one saying supper, attendant, and the other one saying other, and it kind of leaves a room where you could probably like write something on it, kind of thing. And you get the idea that if you tug on, you get those of you that have been here before know that if you tug on one of those, the appropriate thing will be sent down to your room.
I do so.
You all also, other than Walter, realize that in your room, there are 2 new sets of clothing. One of them being more formal evening wear. That would be very in tune with what people were wearing in this establishment, and the other being more practical riding gear.
Are these folded?
Yes.
I want to shove them in my bag.
You do so.
Thank God, because no one can fold them like housekeeping.
Right. Yeah, they're little swans. They're folded in. And if any of you care to try them on, they fit perfectly. They are for only having a day to do it, you get the idea that probably many hands make light work, and they are very well made.
I order my my evening meal with a little bit of some red wine that was put into that human. I order actual food for Bartleby.
Cool.
Gotta feed him, otherwise he dies.
All of you can have room service brought to you. If you only have one person brought down, you can have 2 blood back.
Yeah, I go for that.
Take a human.
Yeah. Liam, you also notice a little leather-bound black box about yay big with gold leafing paint around the edges of it. And it was placed in amongst with your clothes.
I hand it to Bartleby. Does it open up like a
kind of like, yeah, it opens up kind of like a necklace box kind
okay
of
so
thing.
so I hand it to Bartleby and I ask him to open it, and as I reach my hand for it, he just shuts it on my fingertips, and I do my Julia Roberts laugh.
You have your moment.
Yes.
But he opens it up, and inside there is a opal that is a oval shaped, very nice cut with a gold border around it and a gold chain around. So the stats of this, and if you want to write it down.
Yes, I do. Oh, yeah.
So you'll actually notice in the case there's actually a little bit of a writing in a very nice script, and it's signed by Miss Scarlet. So you see an A and then dot Scarlet, basically telling you that its passive ability is that anyone trying to look at your aura, if you're wanting to just make it more difficult, will have +2 difficulty to do so as long as you're wearing it. She does now, obviously doesn't say it that way. I'm just explaining the mechanics of it. However, she does warn you that those who are very adept, again, it's not a surefire thing, and that it might be very obvious that you're trying to hide your aura. So if it's one of those things of, if you've got something to hide, it might raise suspicions in the wrong circles that you're trying to hide something.
Because I'm always in the right ones.
Yes. She did say, though, that it has another ability, too. That if you focus very strongly on it, you can divert its energy to hiding a particular aspect of your aura. How that works mechanically is if you spend 2 willpower points for a given scene, you can choose a particular part of your aura and make that have a +3 difficulty to read. Now, the other stuff drops. The +2 difficulty to read your aura in general drops if you choose to divert its energy to that. But with the 2 willpower spending, it would basically be a +3 difficulty, and you can choose per scene which. So if you want to hide, let's say specifically the diablerie, you could focus on that aspect, and then when someone's reading your aura, they still can pick up other things, but trying to read the diablerie would be at a +3 difficulty.
Gotcha. And then before I go out into public, I want to do attempt to master 1,000 faces again to look like myself.
Okay.
Just go ahead and make a roll for to look, blush and lively.
Okay.
One. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus 2. 3 successes.
Okay. I'll say, yeah, that's fine.
Like I'm blushing bountiful.
You look alive.
That's where it is.
When Walter's ordering his supper, he's going to ask whoever the first person he talks to, if they can bring him a harmonica.
I would say that would probably be for the attendant. So I'll say you can pull both boards. So along with your meal, one of the employees in the gold vest come down. Yes, sir. How can I help you tonight?
So, I know this is a little weird, but could y'all obtain me a harmonica?
They think for a moment. I believe so. How nice of a harmonica are you looking for, sir?
It's just gotta sound good.
And is this for purchase, sir?
Yeah, I'll be wanting to take it away, so just let me know whatever it costs.
We looking for decent or very fancy?
Walter just hands the dude $5 and goes, I don't know which one is this enough for?
Relatively fancy, sir. If you give us just a bit, I'm sure we can scrounge something up.
Walter hands him 5 more and says, for your trouble, thanks.
Oh, well, thanks.
Liam got 3 successes on Mask of a Thousand Faces.
Okay. Then yeah, you look like
My old self again.
I miss the old Liam.
I made myself look just a little, and I mean a little buffer, but that's it.
Do you guys stay in the Golden Goose for a little bit when you wake up? I mean, feeding, taking time to do that.
Yeah, I'm just waking up, perusing, not doing too much.
I think we have company coming to our domicile, so we do have to get back there rather quickly.
It takes about an hour. Now, if you guys are getting ready to head out, you eat, you do your thing. About an hour later, there's a knock at your door, Walter.
Hey, yep.
And they come back, and in a little wooden case, and inside is a bit of the felt inside. There is a very nice harmonica. And you look at it, and it's metallic. Mostly silver with a little bit of gold inlay in it.
Ooh.
You give it a test toot toot. And
I sure do.
It sounds clear and crisp and looks to be a very good quality harmonica.
Did you say it's silver?
It's silver in color. I didn't say it was made
Silvery.
I was hoping if he blows, it'll blow out your werewolf eardrums.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
how it works. Now, unless you want to get that
class.
magically imbued by Josephine.
I mean,
Ideas.
wow, you did good. Dang, thank you, man.
No problem, sir. You get the idea that this guy kind of rushed because you paid him well enough. He put a rush on it and kind of hoofed it all over town to find a place that was still open to get your harmonica.
Yeah, Walter gives him the you're a good one. You deserve a raise, and just kind of walks right past him with his harmonica.
You guys make your way up and out. Again, it's normal size crowd in the establishment. You make your way back to where the stables are. Your carriage is now fully ready for you. Your horses have been added to the carriage. Which of the horses do you have pulling the carriage? Because I think, isn't there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Aren't there like 6 horses or 7 horses with Bartleby? So there's 7 horses. Or are you?
We only had enough horses to pull the carriage. We didn't have any additional. So Bartleby was driving the carriage while we were riding the train.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think we
but it
brought
was-
extras.
I
during
mean, you
this
guys
trip.
did
came on
ride
one.
into town to get here, like to ride to Jacksonville.
Yeah, in the
Perhaps
carriage.
we stabled our other horses
Yeah,
here.
I think.
Oh, that's what it
yeah,
was.
You still had to get to
Well-
Jacksonville before you picked up the carriage.
Oh,
Walter's
I thought
gonna
we
want
just
to
simply
ride
used-
on his horse separately from the carriage.
Okay.
Aegis will stay on the carriage.
Actually, I'll let Bartleby know. Bartleby, I apologize. We're about to have company joining us at our domicile, and I'm well aware that you have a particular discomfort when it comes to rats.
Yeah.
The company in question will be bringing some, as they are her pets and companions, and I'm not sure, but they may be the only voices she speaks to. You may want to take your horse and just lay low in town for a bit when we get back to our domicile.
Thank you, Master. Yes, I think I would prefer that.
Also, if you are able, stop by. Let Josephine know that we'll be making a visit relatively soon.
I'll stop on by on the way back in.
You two crazy kids.
So with that, you guys are, because you get that the carriage, if you want to buy a extended yoke to have the 6 horses on it, you could, but right now it's kind of set up for 4. So I'll say, Wea, your horse at the front, plus 3 other horses. That would work because with Walter riding his and
I don't remember if mine was John or a different one.
wow, don't even remember your horse's name.
I mean, to be fair, we've not had original horses for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Honestly, I kind of remember that I thought we actually swapped, just put our horses in the carriage. Like I don't even think we. It's been a long time, so I don't remember.
The 3 of the horses were ours plus Wea's ghoul, and then the other 2 horses got left behind, and then Noah found us on his own. So I have no idea if Noah had a horse.
Not at all.
So then that would be all 6 horses. So as long as Walter and Bartleby take their horses, the carriage is full up. We're good.
Yep. So you guys start riding back, making your way back to San Angelo. You do know it's a couple hours ride. It's not going to be a full night or anything like that. Is there anything you guys want to achieve on the ride back, or just fast travel to San Angelo?
I feel like there was something I wanted to do in Jacksonville for the last month, and I just can't. I cannot remember.
Did you want to go down a well and find a key?
Oh God.
I'll talk to
Most certainly
Noah,
not.
Okay.
and I'll say, so wait a minute. You chased us for 3 months without a horse?
Slowly. But yes.
Wade's just gonna look like incredibly puzzled and just flabbergasted.
You do so.
Like, no, I need more information.
Yes, you seem to have good tracking abilities if you're able to, keep up with us at such a slow pace.
And just from the driver's seat, I yell, yes, because we've been so subtle as we do things.
Yes, I just seem to follow the smoke signals.
Oh, I also do thank you for putting your neck on the line for us. It's very appreciative that someone who barely knows us would do that, especially against Mr. Black.
Now, were you guys in trouble? I was just doing my due diligence, and I was getting a little annoyed with his intimidation efforts towards me.
Liam was in trouble at least.
I've fought bigger men than him, but his presence takes a toll.
we seemed to have crossed the business path while we were on our current mission, and he wasn't quite happy with what he lost.
Seems about right. Business never goes smoothly.
Oh,
Not when we're involved.
Doubly true.
Wow. Just gotta throw us right into that carriage.
In the meantime, Bartleby's challenging Walter to a race.
If Walter says that, Way's gonna say, "Well, at least it wasn't a train."
I'm not there.
Oh right, that's right. Oh, it was so
So
good
Walter,
though.
Bartleby looks at you and goes, "Hey, how fast do you think your horse is?"
I might be faster, but I think what's more important is how good the rider is. Why you ask?
Well, because I got $5 right here that I just earned that says that I bet I could make it back into town before you do.
Is that your last $5? You're already trying to gamble it?
No,
Never
no,
mind,
I
I'll
did
take
all
you
right
up
for
on it.
myself. I did all right for myself. People of that town are very generous if you know how to ask.
Ask.
You
Walter
know, or
kind of grins
not.
at him. Yeah, I'll
You know,
take your
all the way
bet. You're
adopted.
on.
All right,
Hey, you wanna count down?
sure.
All right. 3, 2. Walter just kind of hits the reins and whips him a little bit and spurs his horse forward.
He
Because
calls after you.
impatient.
Yes.
I honestly can't tell if you're cheating or forgot how to count as well as read.
To be fair, neither one of them can read.
With that, all I hear is second place back
Oh.
there.
Okay, so go ahead and make a Dex plus ride. Liam, roll for Bartleby. Walter, roll for yourself. By the way, we'll just assume that as you guys left town, Sonoy came running up and kind of is alongside with you guys.
I mean, he fits in the carriage since there's 2 missing.
If he wishes to, or if Wea wishes him
He's not
to.
too much of a pampered pup. He's more likes the feel.
Oh, that's not my best roll out of all these, but I think I got 1 success. Nope, 2 successes. 2 successes.
Even with that, all of a sudden you hear behind you, and you quickly remember that you can't really transfer celerity to a horse. Although with your strength, you could probably just pick up the horse and move faster by carrying it, run with it. But you hear
One day.
behind you
Horse ride a cowboy.
I'll put it in post.
as you kind of glance over your, and Bartleby is catching up, and he starts getting neck and neck with you, tips his hat, and starts to pull ahead.
Aw, sugar.
Go ahead and give me another roll.
All right.
So while we're riding, I would like to ask Atris. Now, if you don't mind, could you perhaps tell me how you lie so well? I need a little help learning how to say things with a poker face.
Oh, well, I can do a little bit of lying myself. I'm more the image liar than the verbal liar. Honestly, Liam is better than that, but I can definitely show you what I know.
All right, so I would have to talk to Liam to gain more skill at this.
How'd you do, Walter?
I don't have enough fingers for this. I got 12 successes.
Oh no! What the hell?
Oh,
Oh.
God.
Earlier I rolled nine tens. This time it was only 2 10s, but still.
You and your horse are just in sync with each other as you're just like, nope, this is not happening. And you, who have been a cowboy almost your entire life and been riding and shooting, you just will that horse on, and man, you just start to pick up speed, and being you ride up behind and kind of give him a smack upside the head as you start to pull up, and you're smoking him. I'll give you guys one more tie-breaking roll.
Bartleby would also like to attempt a little bit of subterfuge and yell, "Look out for the hole!"
Okay. Go ahead and make a a manipulation plus subterfuge roll. Walter, go ahead and roll your perception plus empathy roll to see if you believe him or not.
I just upped my empathy. Hey.
Now, did we ever find out what the purpose of those boxes we collected was? Or the items
yeah,
therein?
We had opened those up. We ended up getting a knife, a vase, a map.
And I had started going over them.
Yes, we were just needing to make sure that they didn't pose any more danger if we were to handle them a certain way.
Adele, you can choose if you want to dig more into another one along this ride. I mean, you'd have the time.
Sure.
Which one would you like to look at this time? Go ahead and think of which one you would like to look at, and then go ahead and make your roll and tell me how you did with Spirit's Touch.
Remind me again what else. I already did the knife.
You already did the knife.
There's the vase, the map, the monocle, and the
Silver flute.
silver flute. That's what it is.
So right now you only really did the knife was the one that because you looked at the gin box and you looked at the knife. Those are the two that you've looked at.
Sure. Okay.
So Bartleby's trying to catch up and he's starting to gain a little bit, and then Walter, you by the way, for you guys did the roll for the thing.
Yeah, I got 5. He got,
I got
3
3.
on his lie, I think.
You do not believe him. You know that this is just him trying to distract you, and you're not falling for it.
I'm going to act like I'm really concerned and look all around while my horse is gunning it. And I'm going to reach out of my holster, kind of pull my pistol and like unchamber all the bullets, like just into my bag here, or my pocket right in front of me, because I'm trying to be surreptitious about it. Then I'm going to go, "Oh shit, you're right. Oh, I dropped it." And I'm going to just like let my gun fly kind of away from the horse into his path. But not his path, like across his front, crossing his path like a black cat, but it's a pistol. It's gonna land on the ground, I think, but it came from my holster.
Okay. Danny, go ahead and give me a perception plus ride to see how he's doing.
What difficulty? Because it says depending on the age of the object.
I think, didn't we say difficulty 8 for the other items, just because of how
That
old they are?
sounds right.
Get in the comments.
But which item are you looking at? That'll let me know how old it is.
I guess the flute.
Okay, difficulty 7 for the flute. You get the idea that it's not quite as old as the other ones.
Oh, good.
It kind of startles him for a bit, but he's able to maintain control. And the gun poofs out and lands back in Walter's belt. Go ahead and you two give me one more Dex plus ride to see who's the tie-breaking winner of this thing.
Walter laughs and pats his pocket, pats his holster.
I got 6.
6? Okay. We'll go over what you see in just a second.
Oh, that's some 10s.
Okay.
That's another one. Eight.
I only got 2, so.
Okay.
We riding.
Okay, so I'm sorry, one more time. Who got what?
Walter rolled 8 successes for riding.
Bartleby got 2.
Against Bartleby's 2.
Bartleby just can't close the gap. Walter has pulled ahead. He is outriding him, and I will say, if you guys keep up at this pace, Walter, you make it into town a good 10 minutes before Bartleby does.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh man. I'm the first to town out of the whole group then by far, if that's
you are. And we'll get to that in just a second. So Adele, you take out the flute and you hold it, and it definitely has some aid as you close off your senses to the external around you and kind of delve into this thing, and you can almost see it in front of you in your mind's eye. Very beautiful silver flute with the acid etched ivy engraved into it. And as you're looking, the ivy almost starts to wrap and curl in your mind's eye and grow out from it. As your mind goes back, and what are you looking for? Are you like with the knife? Are you looking more for the origin? Because you get, again, the most recent memories are all of Kasim handling this thing and where you got it from. Are you looking for the origin? Is there anything? What's your main focus trying to be in looking at this thing?
We knew he had it, so I want to go past that. I want to see.
Are you looking for kind of the middle? Are you looking for the beginning?
I mean, I want to see how far past that I can go.
Okay. So kind of like before, you kind of will yourself where a lot of the things are a bunch of blurs where you see faces and then like a cloud of smoke, they disappear and then something else. And so it's a big blur of things and you're just trying to get back to as far as you can think and touch. You see, give me a intelligence plus history, not history, academics.
I have those. Standard?
Yes, actually, this is more in your wheelhouse of things that would have been taught to you in your teachings. Yeah, I know.
I have those moments constantly.
2.
I feel taught with teachings.
2. All right. The style of the houses seems to indicate definitely part of Eastern Europe, more set in maybe the Middle Ages, rather
40?
than even further back.
Okay.
But at 2 successes, you can't pick out like a specific thing. And again, you're seeing the flute, and it's kind of hard to see, but it's definitely being held and being played by someone. And you look around and you start seeing rats coming out. And they are following this individual that is playing this flute. And you see townspeople start to come out, and with 2 successes, I'll say that you do recognize the language. It is German that they are speaking. But
I think I know German.
But it's a dialect of German that you're not familiar with because it is Middle Age German.
Really old.
Yeah, so you pick out like a word or two just from your teachings and things like that, but it's definitely not what would be considered modern German or even German from when you were human. So it'd be a little bit like the fact that you might pick out a word or two because you read Chaucer kind of thing from, English, Middle English and stuff like that.
So it's German.
Yeah.
I think it's the type, because she's fluent in German. I think it's, if I sat down with it, I could figure it out.
Right. But at this point, since it's coming in visions and things like that,
Okay.
it's flash like a word or two.
I mean, I personally know what you're describing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. I would say go ahead and give me one more int plus academics.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Three.
This rings a bell of a story that your father had a copy of. It actually would be in existence at this time, as there are 14th and 17th century versions of this story. It's more of a local legend and things like that, but you have heard of the Pied Piper of Hamelin. And it's ringing a bell just a little bit of
and at our time it was already in print by the Brothers Grimm.
Correct.
Yes.
So but then the vision shifts, and it's almost kind of, again, things are weird in Spirit's Touch because it's not a crystal clear narrative. It's more of you're getting emotions mixed with memories, mixed with events, and you see the rats actually start to transform, and now you're in somewhere darker. You seem to be underground. You see roots of trees and stuff kind of going, and again you see this flute being used, and the music is beautiful, by the way, almost hauntingly so. But now you're seeing children, glassy-eyed children, and they're being led down this path in mass. There must be dozens of them, all dressed of a similar, where it would be of that time period that we're talking about, middle age. Again, with only the two successes on history, you can't pinpoint out, oh, it was obviously this century and this year, you know,
this
blah,
exact
blah.
year. Yeah.
Right. But that
It was a
combined
Tuesday.
with the legend and that ringing a bell, you're getting at least a ballpark of what you're seeing. And you're starting to wonder if maybe there's more to the legend than it just being a legend. And then I'll say that the vision fades and you're kind of judged back to the present.
Okay. Well, shit. Seems like this flute here. Y'all heard of the Pied Piper that drove out, that led rats out?
I'm going to say for the rest of you guys, other than Liam, I'll say you can give me a int plus academic standard difficulty. Everyone else's difficulty is 9 that you've ever even heard of this story.
Are we still in the carriage? Because it's so Liam's driving. He wouldn't know any of this.
Oh, then no, never mind. Who's in the carriage with Adele?
Oh, I'll say Atris is inside.
Atris, Noah,
Atris is not talking to Noah.
Where are you inside?
Yeah, I'm in there.
Okay, so Wea, Noah, and Atris, you can roll this. It's going to be difficulty 9, though, because this is not a mainstream story at this point for people.
What was the roll one more time?
Int plus academics.
Int plus academics. Where's my academics? Okay. There you go.
Wea, you can attempt it if you want, but...
Yeah, I didn't.
No, I botched.
I got 1 success.
Okay. Noah, this must be about someone who makes pies. It's about a baker.
Of course.
You're a
maybe
monster.
Maybe, given where you're from, maybe a Scottish baker, because he's a piper. So maybe it's a Scottish baker who plays bagpipes and likes making pies. What flute playing has to do with making pies, you don't know, but maybe people like music while they eat. Atris, I'll say that the name rings a bell kind of in the back of your memory, but beyond that, you know you've heard that name from somewhere, but as to where and in what context, you're not sure.
It's there, but unfortunately, I have no idea who that person is. It's as if I had a picture or the story, maybe.
Long story short, it's a story from Germany about a guy who, well, there are a couple versions of it, really. One of which is this guy played the flute, which I'm guessing is this flute right here. It was attacked by the plague, and he drove the rats out, saving people from dying even further. But that's not the only version. That's the happier version. And as we all know, there are dark versions of every story.
Ooh, give me the dark version.
Children.
Ooh, okay. So they what do they eat the children?
Well,
know what you were thinking. Wait, this is where the pies come in.
not time for Sweeney Todd yet. Well, according to some versions, children were disappeared and hypnotized by this magical flute and couldn't explain. Like, how else would you explain this mass need to just follow somebody? I mean, we have our ways, but so who knows what this piper was, or if it was the flute.
Either way, mass compulsion from the sounds of it.
Whether it's rats or children.
I don't suppose there's any indication of how to use it as such, if it even indicates it has that ability still.
I would guess you just play it.
I mean, I'm good at blowing, but I don't think I can sit there and just blow a note in that and it's gonna
High
work like that.
five.
Good night, everybody.
It says that Sweeney Todd is set in 1785.
All right, then never mind. I got corrected for once.
Was the high five even invented yet?
Nope, I just fact checked myself. 1977. Gosh.
Adele, I will say that much like with
Not my night.
box that the gin is in and with the dagger, if you were to talk to someone who is very knowledgeable about occult objects, magically imbued objects, by feeding them the information that you've gleaned to kind of help put them on the right path, they might be able to ascertain the specifics of how the magic works, how to utilize it, things like that.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna attempt to use it.
No, I'm just saying, you asked a question, so Adele would know. You yourself don't know how to make it work specifically, but with the information you have, if you went to the right person, you would probably be able to find out what the pros and cons of using it are and how to do so.
Fill in the blanks, get the warning, so to speak.
Maybe this could be useful in clearing an entrance to some certain caves.
From the sound of your problem, Rick, you could at least warrant a look to see if it could help us.
Now, how is a flute that has something to do with a baker gonna help us?
Not that kind of pie. Not that kind of pie, my friend.
Well, you said that before, but I asked you if the children was in it.
Right.
No children or baked, no pies.
Pied is a term that means multicolored clothing.
That's too fancy for me.
I'll take care of the fancy stuff.
Thank y'all.
It just means having 2 or more colors.
So you guys continue to ride. Walter, you get into town long before anybody else.
I'm just gonna wait at the outskirts. I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to rush further.
Bartleby comes in next, and
Walter waves his hat at him from a distance.
He rides up and he slows down the horse as he gets there, and he goes, "Thought I had you there for a second.
I had to make you feel like you had a chance.
Thanks. Anyway, deal's a deal, and he ruffles through and he pulls out $5 and he hands it to you.
Walter takes it.
Yep.
Walter respects the bet.
As you guys pull into town, eventually that you see the carriage come up and you guys are back in St. Angelo.
Oh, I never thought I'd be so good. Glad to be back in this town.
What would you guys like to do?
Visit Josephine.
Okay.
Now, this just I want to make sure that this is supposed to be the night that Rebecca, or what's her name?
Oh yeah, is this the fourth
No,
night or whatever?
This is actually the 5th night, so there's 2 more nights before
Right.
Rebecca comes in.
Okay.
Because it took you 3 nights to get to Jacksonville. You only spent 1 night and then left the next day. So that's yes.
I sent the first message when we had a night to get back, or still a carriage night to get to Indian territory, because we thought she'd be able to meet us there.
Right, but then didn't you send another message asking her to change course?
Well, yes.
So I'll say you guys have 2 more nights. I think if I'm doing the math correctly, you have 2 more nights before she gets there.
Whoa.
For the record, Walter never thought that she was gonna make it to that town in time. No one consulted him.
Yes. So what would you guys, so you guys want to visit Josephine, or what are you guys doing?
Oh, Rachel sees that everyone's gonna go see Josephine. She's well. I wonder if she has my crossbow ready. I guess I'll go to you guys as well.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go see her.
Does
It'd be nice to see a familiar face that ain't worried about us double crossing him or something.
What
What
about
about
you,
just
Leia?
like a nice break? That's not
I'll
traveling.
go with them. That sounds
Okay.
fun.
Any other complaints? Adele, Noah. Noah, you do know who Josephine is. She is the blacksmith in town. You've been following the Spurs there. She's the metal witch that they freed from Sardo's circus, who has taken up residence here as the town blacksmith in St. Angelo, and definitely she's mortal, but she's a witch, and she's pretty powerful on all things metal.
She's a good ally.
I should go introduce myself to any that might be considered part of your gang.
Okay. You guys, where do you want to go look? Do you want to go to like her at this time of night? You know that the town smithy would probably be closed unless she's working all night to help prepare the town, or you know where her house is.
I definitely want to swing by her house. I actually want to show her the carriage, because I kind of want to show her the ruins and everything that are inside of it.
Okay. You know that her house is kind of on the outskirts of town because she likes her privacy, and that way she can kind of work without prying eyes. And you get the idea that she reserves the regular blacksmithing for when she's in town, when she doesn't care if people are looking, and then the more magical stuff she likes to do in the privacy of her own.
I will have asked my party here about what they discussed with Mr. Black.
Okay, go for it.
By this point, I'm happy to ask now if you want me to do it now. I would have liked to have done it earlier in the evening or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Go for it.
So, were y'all having a difficult meeting with Mr. Black? What was everything all right?
It got a little close, but we were able to lie our way out of the situation.
Well, we didn't necessarily lie. It was more of a stretching of the truth. But Adele and Nuea overheard Miss Scarlet saying that we were suspected of possibly having something to do with the train, as well as
Oh.
his missing cargo. So
Oh.
quite a heavy amount of bullshit was having to be laid down to, not die.
And
No,
thankfully, we're still here.
You think he'd just kill us outright if he found out that we had a conflict of interest?
Oh, he was pissed.
He would keep us around and torture us.
I don't think I like that more than the death thing.
Killing
Yeah.
immediately would be a bit too merciful.
Yeah, I do not think they're the merciful type.
Although they did.
Seem nice enough. By the time y'all got back, you must have spun him a doozy.
It's more of a he's informed us that he'll be investigating what happened, and until he can prove we had something to do with it, for now we're not marked.
Just something to remember in case, well, they decide to come poking our noses around again.
Where you were gonna say something?
I was gonna say that even Noah put his head on the line for us back there with Mr. Black.
I stretched my neck out a bit.
Vouch for us?
I do thank you for that. You didn't have we caused you a lot of trouble. You didn't quite have to do that for us, so we thank you for that.
I think I like you more every day.
I certainly didn't want to be put in that situation.
Oh yes, I suppose if we were all had that he would have assumed you were with us. So mutually, yeah, I could see that.
You're making it sound like we drag others into bad situations here, Atris.
Oh, do not even get me started. Oh, we just it seems to be like the world with us and all about destruction.
I don't know why everyone says that about us.
I don't know why they would. I seem to have come upon a small fortune in your employ.
But at least the destruction seems to be mostly away from us when we end it.
So, Walter's not going to ask any more questions. I assume we're kind of like maybe moseying.
Yeah.
Or trotting out off
slow
artists.
pace. It's not like you're rushing to her, unless you're, for some reason, you are. But
Yeah.
So Noah, you come up on. This is great. The audience gets to see these things that before filming through your eyes. So you come up on a homestead, pretty decent property. There's a barn on it. You see a horse tied up outside. You see what looks probably like a chicken coop, a couple of goats and things like that. You get the idea of for someone to be like self-sufficient a little bit. A decent style ranch size house with a nice wraparound porch. You also see a large stone fence that is around the entire property. And to the side in the back of the house, there's a large metal building, and you see a smokestack out of almost the dead center of it, as it kind of has a triangulated roof. And you see smoke actually coming out of that smokestack. And while you guys approach, you hear ding, ding, ding. Almost sounds very much like metal on an anvil being hammered out.
Well, she's either working or she has company over.
Go ahead, Noah, since you're new to approaching. I'll let you choose. You can either make a perception plus alertness roll or a perception plus awareness roll.
Although I will tell Noah, she may have some wards up. She has abilities to detect our kind.
I'm gonna do perception alertness.
Okay. I'm gonna say it's gonna be only difficulty 5 since Liam gave you that heads up.
Very helpful.
Okay.
I have 2 successes.
Okay. It's one of those things where if you weren't looking for it, you would probably miss it, which is kind of the idea. But you notice in some of the stone posts that make up the fence around the place, every so often there's a rune carved into it. Again, unless you were specifically looking for it, but as is prone to people of your clan, you're good at like nosing out secrets and things like that. Now, this is a little bit above your pay grade. You're not one extremely well versed in occult magics and things of that nature, as that's not really something that your clan has been known for a whole lot of, other than digging up secrets. But you get the idea that these are probably what Liam was telling you about, and there's something about them that's probably some kind of barrier or early warning device if anyone crosses into her territory.
I would like to poke one.
Okay.
Yep, he fits in.
All
Give
that
me-
information, I want to poke it.
Oh, I love your character.
He's a simple vamp with simple needs. Go ahead and give me a willpower roll, difficulty 8.
Okay, I botched that by 1.
Okay.
Oh boy.
You go to poke at it as you feel kind of like a resistance. It's almost like pushing against an elastic band. And all of a sudden there's a little blue spark of energy, and it pushes back, and you fall back about a good 5 feet back as it kind of blows you back on your butt. And you take 2 bashing damage. Go ahead. You can go ahead and try and soak that with your stamina.
Now how would I go about the soak roll?
You roll stamina.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that.
Yep, you roll your stamina. If you had fortitude, you would roll that too, but I don't believe your character does.
2 successes on.
Okay, so you take the damage. Like bashing damage isn't as bad for vampires as it is for non-vampires. So you don't take the damage, but you definitely are blown back on your ass. And I'll say you feel your pants, your new pants, rip a little bit as the wall poked back.
Oh, you shouldn't. Oh.
Okay, that's happened.
Don't do that.
And the flaming stops on the inside.
Noah, is your hair puffier? Just
Walter offers you a hand.
I
Just
can't
mutton
tell.
chops
Give
are.
me a mirror.
The mutton chops are a little bit puffier than they were before.
Still
Like a
gives
startled
hand.
cat. Yes, Adele, you give him a hand.
Thank you for noticing.
A couple minutes later, you hear as the door opens up, and you see Josephine holding a lantern. And
Oh, I would have knocked. All right.
I mean, you guys were at the gate. You're at the fence at this point. There's not really a door to knock on because Noah.
Walter
poked
makes
it.
noise on fences.
also Bartleby did go ahead to actually say that we were coming.
That's right, but she's just looking out and she's checking and seeing who's poking. You get the idea that maybe the fence isn't like facial recognition specific. It's more of just there's someone there kind of thing. And she goes, "Well, now, aren't you all a sight for sore eyes? Noah, you've seen Josephine at a distance, but as she starts walking up, she is a very imposing, dark skin, natural hair tied up in the back. She's wearing, her sleeves are rolled up, and you see she's got guns on her that are in line with Walter and Wade. I mean, she is extremely well ripped. Blue jeans on, boots, a leather smock on the front of her apron, I should say. And she goes, "Old timer, you just gonna sit there in the dirt, or you gonna go ahead and stand up?"
I'll get on up off my ass.
Well, I recognize most of you. This face, however, is a new one, Huns.
He's with us. He's been a friend recently, and I guess an acquaintance before that. At least he's acquainted with us.
She kind of knocks on one of the pillars, and you kind of just, you don't see anything, but you kind of get the sense that guards down. Can't be too careful these days, hun. Good to see you again, Shug, as she looks at Walter. Well,
upset.
Liam, your money came through just fine. I'm working on the plans for my new forge.
That's always good.
I can't hear you.
Hello?
Your sound, that's weird, your sound's out.
Hello.
There you go.
I think I just heard you through Atris's mic.
Oh, we're in different rooms.
Oh.
Good, bad, ugly?
Very quiet.
I mean, yes.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe
I have no idea what happened.
I can hear you now.
There you are. Okay.
Okay. You're good now. You're good now.
So Josephine, I know last time we spoke, we had a fun idea about possibly creating small little silver grenades that would disperse the silver mist. The presence of Noah here means that idea might need to come to fruition much sooner than anticipated.
Well, I can definitely put all my free time on it, though I will say things have gotten a little interesting in town since you've all been gone.
Oh, has it? We haven't been in town yet. We just got here.
Well, why don't you all come inside and we'll talk a bit. Why don't we go inside the house? The furnace is lit in the forge, and I know how that makes you all a little antsy.
No.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, your friend there, he's inside helping himself to a glass of whiskey and some of my leftover steak.
Wow.
Good to see you. Keep it fed.
Come on in, everyone. And she leads you in. It is a very nicely, it's a nice style ranch house. Nothing too gaudy or fancy. As a matter of fact, it looks very comfortable. It looks lived in. You notice that there's little notes of metalwork scattered throughout it, whether it be the ironwork in the fireplace, whether it be the exposed beams that have metal bracers on them. There's always a little bit of metal in everything in the design. Even the floor where most people would probably try and cover it up, there are very obvious nails that are about yay big around, almost like railroad spikes in the floorboards. And every so often you notice a different little rune it's not on every piece of metal, but it's kind of scattered throughout.
Oh my.
You notice cowhide rugs on the ground, nice leather chairs and couches and things like that. Well, why don't you all sit down? We'll have a little talk. And you see Bartleby off in the corner, and he gets up when you all come in. Master, everyone else.
Oh, sit.
Thank you. He seems to be quite enjoying his meal.
It looks like you beat me here after all.
He kind of just nods and takes a sip of whiskey. Well, I forget. Did you guys walk over, or did you bring the carriage with you?
Well, we brought it because I wanted to show it to her.
Yeah, so we brought the carriage over.
Look at our new toy.
Seems you all have been going up in the world with your mode of transportation.
It was definitely a interesting bartering system that acquired this. But I thought you might be quite interested in the runes that are inside of this. They actually make it rather difficult for sunlight to, well, cook us alive.
Now, ain't that handy? I might have to study that, seeing if we continue to do business together. That might be a very interesting little trick to learn.
Well, especially if you'd be able to incorporate that into our domicile, that would be very helpful.
I'll have to take a look. She looks at Wea. What's in you? You seem a little different from the last time I saw you. Wea, if you're talking, we can't hear you, man.
Nothing physically different.
If you need to talk, you just let me know. Oh, and honey, she looks at Adele. What happened to you?
Basically, something
God
that
bless you.
basically something that can do to flesh what you can do to as malleable as you can make metal. Did that to her.
Do I need to break out John Henry and go find someone for you, hon?
No way. I
As
took care of
tempting
that.
as that is, the beast that did this has been taken care of.
Well, good. I hope you, and she looks at Wea, I hope you gave it back in kind.
Yeah,
Well,
I kind of threw him
certainly-
into a train.
It was glorious.
She kind of slaps you on the shoulder. Now that's the way I know.
Oh, that does remind me. Someone is coming to town to assist Adele with her condition. She is very peculiar and tends to travel with a bit of a horde of rats.
Oh, so
She is one of our kind, although unique amongst our kind, but she likes her friends.
well, then it's good that she would. Yeah. Luckily, y'all's home is a little bit outside of town too. I'd say keep her there then.
Most of she's associated with someone we trust, so we trust her to do what we ask, but maybe this particular one, I don't know if I could say I vouch for her. Just in case you see her around. I don't know
keep
if
my
I would
guard
test
up.
her.
I'll keep my guard up. Well, I wish I can say it's all been sunshine and rainbows out here, but since you've been gone, we've had quite a few people getting sick around here.
Sick? Quite a few?
Some of them are starting to get boils and lesions on them. Others are having horrible coughing fits, and some of them so bad they're even coughing up a bit of blood. It started small at first. Seems to be contained. They've quarantined the church and turned it into a bit of a sick bay, but Doc here is a bit stumped about what's causing it, and I've been trying to look into seeing if I can figure out what it is, but unfortunately, this is not really my particular area of expertise.
Has there been an increase in rats in town?
Can't say that I've seen them, but it doesn't mean they're not around. There it could be.
Any animals acting strange? Like real strange?
Some of them have been acting a bit ornery.
Walter kind of like turns his body toward Noah and kind of cocks his head and goes, you know anything about them, about your...
I have not been told about any movements of my kinds.
It's entirely possible that the doorway is getting wider.
And it's projecting a plague out of it. If it's a plague.
Well, that little quaint town that some of us first arrived in not too long ago, before you joined up with us, Atris, was completely surrounded by plague and hordes of rats, to the point where that town, the people that were there, can't even leave without being devoured. Though I'm not sure if there's any left.
It's been a while since we checked.
Is there any similarities from what Josephine described in the symptoms to what you saw in this town?
Oh, yes. No, it definitely sounds like this is an extension.
Has anyone tried to leave the town?
They tried, and the second they tried, they were swarmed by a horde of rats and insects and picked off the bone clean.
What about this town? I mean, well,
y'all know I
hasn't heard
can't
of any
still
rats.
hear you, even though your back is turned to me, right?
Oh, I'm talking so she can hear.
All right.
Yeah, we're just talking in general. But it sounds like you haven't seen any rats yet, so at least outwardly.
As I said, it doesn't mean that. I mean, every town's got rats. I can't say that I've been paying much attention to the number of them.
And we've just warned you that a few are going to show up in a couple days regardless.
Yes, that doesn't quite make me easy, hon.
It's not related from what I could tell.
Sure.
Didn't we just discover some kind of rat pie?
No, different pie. Stop. This one, he's misunderstanding.
Well, they are
a person.
Edible in a pinch.
Well, you have to do more than pinch them.
Look, Josephine,
we may have gotten off topic.
we might have an idea what could cause something like this, and it relates to something we're interested in putting a stop to. So it's good that you told us. That's a little, I don't think I expected it to be this far out from source.
If y'all know how to fix it, I'd say let me know if I can help, because I hate to see what's happening to everybody.
Just because it's been like 1.5 billion years since we started playing, what is the name of that town that's next to the silver mine that we first started in?
Taylorsville.
Okay.
Not Jacksonville. Yeah.
My hometown of Taylorsville.
Yep. So Noah, you know Taylorsville very, very well. Town is being generous even in its heyday. It was basically a glorified mining camp.
Well, and when we got to St. Angelo, they just assumed Taylorsville had been fully abandoned.
Yeah. Taylorsville started out as a mining camp for humans that who had discovered silver in underground where the caverns are. At first, you guys didn't mind because they weren't deep. You didn't mind because they weren't getting deep enough to get down to where like the Nos caverns were, and it also offered you guys a source of food and also a couple of ghouls to kind of fend them, from getting too deep. But you know that once the elder woke up and the doorway was opened, and especially once Clementine and her group, who were following supposedly orders from the elder and spoke for him, came in, that's when the rat swarms came. That's when the plants and the animals and everything around that area all started dying off, and that black sludge started seeping out into the waterways and the soil and everything else. And those weird looking fungi. And you know that there was a small contingent of the miners who didn't make it out in time before the thousands and thousands of rats kind of swarmed in, and that the one or two of them that tried to run and go get help ended up basically being eaten alive. And that the only reason that like you and your kind are able to walk freely through that swarm of rats are because as long as, even those of you that are serving Michael, as long as you outwardly appear to be towing the line and following Clementine's orders and everything else, you're part of the group, so the rats don't bother you.
Just a happy little nos.
Mm-hmm. But it was also kind of a show of power from the elder. Of, you guys know that through the discipline of animalism, there is the ability of beckoning, and a strong nos like a elder nos like Michael might be able to summon a certain number of animals in a certain like mile radius kind of thing. This seems to be that times 10, and Michael's stronger than most of the other nos in your warren. So that was like a big flex from the elder to basically show who's the boss.
Only dance.
You beat me to it.
So Josephine goes, well, like I said, if you all need help dealing with this, you let me know, because I hate to see what it's doing to folks, especially the little ones.
Well, we have what we're up against. This is why we wanted you as a friend.
We also have a strange order of priorities. Those that are inside the silver mines are having a bit of a power struggle, and that creature elder is the one that's causing all these problems. It's not stretching here, but we really can't get them on board unless we take care of the lichen problem that's also in the area. Hence why those silver bombs might actually come in handy much sooner.
Well, seeing how far these rats got, it looks like you guys are going to need a lot of firepower to take on this elder.
Agreed.
Well, then I'll get to work on them right away if they're going to be help. Why don't you go ahead and show me the carriage, and I'll see what I can suss out from that.
This way.
Right this way.
She goes out and looks at it, and she's looking. Well, some of it's been etched into the fabric and the glass itself. Seems to make sure that nothing can pass through. I might be able to do something with this with a metal container. Now, glass and fabric aren't normally my medium, and seeing as that's usually what lets light through, because I could just build you a metal box that no light comes through, but if you're looking for something that's going to protect, whoever did this, I'm impressed. They know their work, and they definitely know their way around magic. Give me some time with it. This, like I said, there's only so many projects I can work on at once. I'll try working on your little explosive devices first, but I'll definitely keep this one in mind. And you actually see her taking down some notes and redrawing the sigils so that way she has them on her record. If I make a breakthrough on something, although if you have a friend you don't care about that I can test this on to make sure it works, you go ahead and send them my way. But I don't know if you want to risk testing something ahead of time.
Well, we make the characters seemingly on a regular basis, so I'm not promising anything, but we'll see what comes our way.
If only Kasim was still alive.
Dear, you are all so good at making friends. I'm sure you can find someone to bring my way.
Oh.
Well, if you're gonna go into town, don't forget. Everybody these days is making sure to keep a certain distance, and we're still in the middle of rebuilding after the last exciting events here, but things are progressing. Although people are trying to keep a bit of distance and or wary of anyone that's showing signs of being ill. So you all keep on the lookout for anybody that's coughing or, no offense, but looking a little pale. You might want to make sure that you're not.
When you say pale, do you mean something like this?
Do you drop not quite that bad unless it's gone to the point where they're no longer with us, but head in that direction, I'd say.
We'll definitely keep our eyes and our ears open for this sickness.
But generally, diseases like this don't really affect our kind.
Of course.
No, but you want to make a show that you're still concerned if you want to blend in with everybody in town.
Agents will just indicate the veil or the scarf that she has underneath her chin.
Remember, it goes over the nose, hun.
Of course, I know that.
All right. Well, I'll get to work on that little project of ours. If there's anything else I can do for y'all, you know where to find me.
Aegis says, I did want to ask if you've made any progress on my crossbow that I had ordered a while ago.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was tinkering around with that for a little bit. Give me a sec. And she walks out and comes back and she finds it. I was limited with what I can actually do with it, but I was able to do this. And you see that she brings out a crossbow that basically has a bolt cartridge in it. Now this will fire 5 rounds before you have to load it up again.
Ooh, nice.
It also has a special little feature here, and let me show you. And she pushes, she fires one up against like a tree, and it sinks in. And she flicks another switch, and she fires again, and one fires, and another one like rapidly fires after it, and almost splits the bolt of the second one.
Ooh.
So, David, what that means, here's the mechanics of it. So one, sure. Your capacity is now 5 for it. So you after the 5th one, you have to spend a turn reloading it, kind of like what other people have to do for their guns. But you don't have to reload it after every single shot.
Like me.
Wow.
Yep, got it.
If you ever do a roll where you get 2 or more 10s in the roll, it will fire a second shot as part of the same turn, where you get to then roll again for damage.
Wow.
I will say, though, however, that it will have to be at the same target. Because it's so fast, you don't really have time to like have it hit one target and then move it and have it hit another target. So if the first arrow kills whatever you're shooting at, the other arrow is kind of a waste, but you basically get that chance.
It's a victory bolt.
It's a chance for a secondary roll.
Very nice. So 2 or more 10s, and it'll fire 2 shots basically at the same time at the same targets.
Yes.
Awesome.
So basically you would then get to roll, if you successfully hit, you get to roll your damage dice twice.
Ooh. Oh, that's a mighty beautiful crossbow, Josephine. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, hun. Use it in good health.
Uh,
Uh, so, is there anything else I can do for y'all tonight?
Yeah, seeing that we're gonna be going against the Lupines, I would like this to be at least silver coated as I place my dagger on the table.
All right, I can see what I can do with it. I'll keep in mind that silver isn't quite as strong of a metal as iron or other things, so it'll be useful, but it might have a little bit more wear and tear on it.
That's acceptable. I can always find another utility knife.
Do you all have any silver with you, or will I have to produce the silver myself? It changes the cost a bit.
Oh, did you run out of all those candlesticks I brought you?
Well, if you want me to use them on the bombs, that's going to take up quite a bit of them.
What was I stealing from last?
Think we have a cat here.
You
Can
were
I have-
stealing from the train, and you were also stealing from. No, I think it was the train. Was the last place you were stealing from?
That's right.
Too bad I
Cassine.
didn't take the jewelry off of that tall guy in the stag bar we ran into. You know, the one that was in the hole.
we kind of had to get out of there quick. After
Agreed.
a certain point.
Now
I
you
got
just
a
want
lot
it
of
to be
silver.
silver tipped. You don't want it to have any kind of magical attributes to it, right?
No, just a tip will be good enough.
That's what I said.
No, hun, many a man has promised me that and left me wanting. But Liam, now, if you're okay with me using a little bit of the silver that you've already given me for this project, I'm all right with that. But it just means a little bit less that I have to work with the bombs.
Oh, by all means, that would. He's definitely been assisting us, and he deserves something.
All right,
from
give
this.
give me 2 nights, and I'll have something for you.
We'll look for more silver if we can.
Indeed, I'll be keeping my eyes open.
He's trying to eat the cord of my headphones.
Well,
Oh,
it's always good to see y'all. You're welcome to stay here and sit yourself a spell, but I figure y'all want to mosey on home at some point before the sun comes up.
Been a while since we've seen home. It'll be good to be back.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys go ahead and head back to the homestead?
Yes.
Okay.
Lead the way.
You guys head back. Do you go through town or do you go stay along the outskirts to try and?
I think with the warning, we'll probably just keep. I mean, granted, we're not affected, but we'll probably just so we don't have to keep up appearances. We probably just stay on the outside for right now.
Okay. You guys get back.
Wise.
You guys come back and the homestead seems untouched, as other than it does seem fixed up from your last time that you were here. It seems like Josephine made good on her deal and the house is kind of repaired and things like that. Give me a perception plus alertness roll as you guys all ride on home. Noah, you've been here before. This was the Old Man Williams property. It has a barn, a smallish house, but not like minuscule. It's a single story that has a loft up above it. A little bit of land attached to it, so if someone wanted to do some farming or have some livestock and things like that, you could. I'd say probably about 5 acres of land. And okay, 5 successes. 2 successes, 1 successes,
5.
5 successes.
I apologize.
What was the
what's roll?
difficulty?
It's a perception alertness.
Risk, perception, alertness, standard difficulty.
Got you. Why can I not roll like this in combat?
Just assume everything is a horse race.
Well, that re-rolled into a 1. I got 3 successes.
Well, if you're in
Okay,
a competition with the
successes.
toxic aces.
I have 7.
Okay. Noah, you who is used to kind of scoping things out, you actually pick up this before anyone else. Adele, you smell it, and Wea, you see it, as there is a single rose left on your doorstep, with a note wrapped around it.
No.
Y'all got a
Nature's
secret
better.
admirer.
Aces will go and observe the rose.
It is definitely a specially bred rose, because it's not just red, it is red with like white tips to it. And the parchment on there looks fresh.
Aces will dig off the parchment and open it up.
It has Adele's name on the front of it.
Okay, well, if it has Adele's name, then she'll see the name and enjoy. I guess for you, but do you want me to read it? Do you want me to read it for you?
Please.
All right, and now she'll open up the letter and start reading it out loud to her.
We've been trying to reach you about the warranty of your carriage.
The warranty of your carriage has expired.
So you read it, and it's very nice handwriting and in cursive. It is in French.
Oh, okay.
Liam can
well,
read French.
Okay, well, it's, I can't quite read this. I can, and she's gonna show it around. Can anyone else read this language? I can
Yes,
try,
yes,
but-
yes. Give that to me.
All right, there you go.
And it says in French, "Sorry I missed you. It's been so long since we've seen each other." And you notice that word is emphasized in the handwriting. Looking forward to our reunion.
Looking
Forever
forward.
yours.
Oh my
Signed
goodness.
it all.
This couldn't have
Nope.
been more snide if it ended with "see
Okay.
you later."
I want the letter.
Okay.
Wait, was there a name at the end of it?
Nope.
I want a spirits touch this bitch.
Go first before you do that. Give me a perception alertness roll.
Fine, I'll do that.
Oh no.
Oh god damn. Hold on. Gotta bring them up. I can count them. Why can't I put like this all the time? Cool. Guess how many 10s I got?
How
None.
many 10s did you get?
3.
All of them.
While they're all interested in the paper, I'd
Is
like
this
to.
about me trying to be insightful?
Yes.
That's my specialty. So those
You've
count for 2,
activated-
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Trap
Noah,
roll.
what were you gonna say?
While they're busy with the paper, I'd like to nudge Wea and be like, "Did you leave Sonoy in that carriage?"
Sonoy is not in the carriage.
Yeah, so you see Sonoy paddle up, and he's already like kind of sitting on the porch.
Okay, so
Never mind.
prior to re-rolling, let me just write this down. Hold on. Prior to re-rolling the 10s and also counting the, wait, shit, I miscounted.
Don't miscount the
Okay,
shit.
10. So counting the 3 as doubles and prior to re-rolling them, I currently have 10 successes.
Cool.
You see the seed that sprouted this parchment.
I mean, that was just for your. I'm giving you whispers. And then go ahead and roll for Spirit's Touch.
I got a total of 11.
Okay. And what'd you roll for your Spirit's Touch?
I haven't done that yet, but I'm gonna do that right now. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is only 4.
Okay, hold on. I'll sit up for this. The noises help. I got 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay. Once again, you focus on the piece of parchment. You see a white gloved hand writing the ink. You see a nice dress. And you see the person hold it back and look up in a mirror. And actually, I said I was going to whisper this, so I'll say.
I just imagine you're all my thought bubbles and just popping you guys.
No. I fall into your screen.
Well, so she survived.
Who survived?
She?
Shall we go inside before we share this, or?
Maybe we should.
At least make ourselves comfortable. We don't have to stand out here all night.
Liam just wants to be a little bit more alert and kind of like open up his nostrils or whatnot and just kind of like scan the inside of the house.
Okay, give me a perception alertness. You all come inside. Visibly, everything's where you left it. Things have been tidied up. Walter's bronze horse statue is right on display.
Oh, thank God. Is my horse book also
It's where you left it.
intact?
4 successes, Liam. You smell a perfume coming off of the letter. It is Parisian in style. Hint of roses with a little bit of lavender, very fresh and bright. Though you smell something else too. Not quite. I mean, you also open up your nose so you get a good whiff of Noah for perhaps the first time. You smell the graveyard dirt and soil, but there's also something that almost smells like the tinge of like refuse. Also
not
seems to
me.
be coming off of the letter for a little, and then So it's a little interesting that think of it like when teenage boys use Axe body spray to cover up BO rather than bathing.
Y'all just gotta spray Febreze in the air, walk through it.
It kind of is like that, like someone trying to mask a scent. Other than that, you smell the normal smells of the homestead.
Old Man Williams.
You smell the dust and the wood and the dirt outside and the horses and everything else.
My home. Agent is gonna finally just gonna take a little breather because she doesn't want to breathe with Noah, but she's just gonna lay on the couch and just like just let a feeling of relaxation wash over her.
Well, at least we have some freedom now. Not
At the sound of everyone's nostrils breathing, I slowly back into a corner.
It doesn't help.
So
Adele, Atris and Walter had both asked you about the letter and your comment.
Missed it.
Yeah.
What exactly did you both say?
Atris said,
you said she,
and Walter said, who's she?
Yeah, I think we both said the same thing.
Well, somebody that I thought she died the way I was supposed to die back in France.
Burning at stake. Decapitation. Did she tell them to let them eat cake?
Is this someone we need
a family member? Well, second cousin, so in my circles, not quite. Doesn't count as family.
Is someone going to come in like she is family, like she's got a grudge or something she needs from you, or what's the nature of your that relationship?
And why does she know you blind?
Well, so the first question is a complicated question that would require a complicated answer. The second question, I got no idea. She must be following us.
Not enough to know you can't read the note that she left.
Stand to reason. Except no one around here should know about that.
And if she's following us, how did she miss you?
I feel like it's a game on her part.
This is meant to draw you out, like you're supposed to find her.
Can she see from afar?
Until a little bit ago, I didn't know she could see at all. I thought she was dead.
More questions than answers again, I suppose.
Yeah.
Can I see the letter, Adele?
Sure.
I'll take it.
What, when she was alive? Go ahead.
I'll have Sonoy come over and I'll have Sonoy get a whiff of the letter and tell him if he smells anything that smells like this or around like this to notify me.
I will remember it, brother.
And I'll hand it back over to Adele.
And then Atris will ask, what do you remember of her when she was alive?
She was nothing but trouble.
Oh, odd kind of trouble or different trouble?
The human version of our kind of trouble that led me to becoming us unknowingly. Because I feel like I would not have done a lot of things I did if it weren't for her. And that just led me down a certain path and just Hmm.
To be clear, I would do everything all over again that I've done.
True.
So a role
Yeah,
model.
An influence.
No,
Yes.
as granted, I don't have to sleep right now. I know it's really early, but I am exhausted by everything. I think I'm just going to read some of those books that I stole from the mission. Oh, is Henry still alive?
You
Go
do
check
remember
upstairs.
that he was actually going to go stay with a doctor to look after his very human wounds.
Oh, good. Then that
Okay,
means the
so-
bed is currently available. I'm gonna go upstairs and just relax.
However, you guys have not checked in on him to check. He was at the doctor, and the doctor is currently knee deep in plague outbreak. So you guys haven't checked in to see how Henry is doing, being potentially at ground zero.
We might want to check up on Henry, especially if he's got any knowledge of plague or he happens to be helping.
Yeah, sounds
Right.
wise.
Yeah, we should definitely go talk to him.
We should also do a clean sweep of our own perimeter. I know we have no fear of the plague, but we do have a fear of the rats knowing who's here.
That's a prudent course of action, of course. We should definitely just scout around. I'm not in a hurry to fall asleep. I can use a good walk.
I'll go too.
Our home's not very hidden, but we gotta have priorities. Yeah, I hope Henry's doing all
Anyone
right.
who wants to can do a perception plus alertness to try and look around and see if do a sweep of your guys' property.
Walter wanted to check for signs of anyone gaining access to this place. So I guess
Okay.
that's
So perception
included.
investigation.
Yeah,
Two for each.
like anyone who's like discovered who lives here, like that's grounds to assume they're breaking in or something.
2 successes. Okay. 5 successes.
Oh my god, why am I missing another die?
Ooh,
Holy crap.
2 successes.
now the bad rolls come.
You are.
0.
Okay. I mean, logic dictates that at least Josephine has been in here because she helped fix up the place a bit. But other than that, there's no obvious signs of tampering or home invasion or anything like that. For Liam and Atris, property seems to be the property. I mean, doesn't seem to be.
I mean, Liam himself just presumed that Venovar would have stopped by or sent somebody to get what he wanted.
Mm-hmm. You do notice that the book is in a different position than it was when it was left. And there is a note. I'll say you find a note that says, "Thank you. We'll consider this bit of business completed. Looking forward to work with you again." Wea, with your 5 successes, you with all your senses, hearing, smelling, everything else,
Touching, seeing,
tasting, you look around and the property itself seems to be okay, but on the edge of the periphery, Sonoy his attention kind of draws your attention. You look and you smell, and you see this big old fat gray rat kind of pop out of this hole in the ground with its beady little eyes kind of glowing in the moonlight, looking at you guys as it kind of then pops back down under the dirt.
Yeah, they know we're here. Little rat popped up, went back into the ground, and looked right at me.
Well, we're gonna have to move.
Ugh.
I mean, to be fair, just to remind everybody, because I know it's been a few months,
they stole Reggie from us here.
Yeah, they did take Reggie from you guys at this place. And they also had the Buffalo Stampede in this town where you guys squared off against Reggie. So wasn't exactly a huge secret that you guys were here. Just more of that the rats hadn't really, other than when they came out to steal Reggie, you do know that that's a thing. However, go ahead and give me a wits plus occult roll. Anyone that would like to attempt it.
I have no occult.
Oh, I got 2 successes on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Give me a second. Oh yeah, 4 successes.
Nice. 2, 3. Okay. I will say, and then Adele, yourself.
Rolling my 3.
Yeah.
3.
Okay. So I'll say Adele, Noah, and Wea, this kind of idea pops in your head. And then I'll say Atris and Liam, this kind of, after they kind of have this aha moment, it becomes kind of a group thought. You guys just actually left the property of someone who seems to be pretty good at warding magic to keep things out of a given area that you don't want there, and who's willing to work with you guys. You get the idea that if you guys were actually concerned about like security of the place, especially when you're not around, maybe talking with Josephine about adding some of her warding magic might
actually I stole some of the opals from the mission and actually did talk to her about that because she actually pointed out the runes that were on the back and the front of it.
Mm-hmm. So you guys just realize that though she is human and she does have to sleep, so she can work on projects, but like she has her day job, she has other things that she's helping to rebuild the town. You're asking her about the silver bombs. So she's very talented and she
can't do it all at once. What do you mean?
But
bad
she only
NPC.
has so
Bad
many
NPC.
tabs open on her browser. So so it kind of depends on, as far as you guys logically know.
I love how Sean just be like, hey, just so you know, you have this character who did this thing. Also, she can't do everything. Don't put too much.
I'm just saying she can do it. What I'm saying is what you guys will have to weigh is, do you want her dividing her energy on working on everything at once and it may be taking a little bit longer, or did you want her to focus on like one thing, finish it quicker, and then work on the next thing? So she definitely can, it's definitely within her wheelhouse, but you guys would have to see where your priorities lie and how you want her diverting her energy.
Yeah, because we got like 4 missions of our own.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is you guys have 2 nights before Rebecca is supposed to show up.
Rebecca's her name.
Is there anything specific anyone wants to accomplish in those 2 nights? Otherwise, what I will say is you get up to 2 willpower back. You can be up to full blood. And any wounds that anyone, I don't know if anyone still has any wounds, but if anyone does, by this time you would have healed it. I'll also say that if you get to me before next game and want to spend some XP, you can do that too.
The only thing that is going to be real important to Walter is to actually visit Henry.
Yeah, that's
before
they
get here.
I think a visit will be in our wheelhouse. Atris does want to have a conversation with Noah real quick. Now I know you want to learn some lying for myself and Liam, and we can certainly do that. I have been really wanting to expand the ability of my obfuscate. I am proficient in cloaking myself, and I see you're really good at cloaking other people. I was wondering if you would help assist me in help in my own skills so I can help cloak the group myself.
I do not mind showing you how I do my tricks. As long as I can tell you a lie every time you succeed.
Definitely, we'll work on lying and we'll work on disappearing. Everyone will be good at subterfuge.
All right. I will say that since it's we're looking at it being pretty close to 11, let's go ahead and end it here for tonight. Next game we'll start off with you guys going to see Henry and see how he's doing. I just don't want to jump into that scene now and have to feel like we're going to rush it.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah,
tired.
Yeah.
So
So
take time.
next game we will visit Henry. We will also hopefully have Rebecca's arrival into town and see how that goes. And then we'll see what's next for the Spurs. So everyone at home, thank you for watching us play. If you've been enjoying what you're seeing, please like and subscribe below. Go ahead and tell your friends. And again, feel free to comment below if you have any questions for us. Ask. Maybe we'll do another video for a Q&A session.
I got Q's.
We've got A's. So thank you everybody for watching us fumble through this and having a good time doing so. And until we see you all next time, keep your fangs and your wits sharp.
Bye.